What's up, ladies and gentlemen? We are live and we are about to link in with Carla Florencia for today's chat, and I'll just be inviting her now. Today we're going to be talking a little bit about what Ruby Soda is, about Carla's journey, as well as just some questions about how she became an influencer and how she got into the business. Just linking in Carla now. Seems to be Carla, we got ya.
I got mine.
How are we today?
Good. So many notifications coming up, but we're in.
We figured it out. How have you been?
Good. Out of lockdown. So
Yeah.
it took crazy.
Crazy, yeah. You guys in Melbourne, we were in lockdown for what? It was like 6 months total or something?
Yeah. Well, to be honest, I lost count. But the last time was 3 months. We were meant to do a snap lockdown, which was like, what, 5 days? We ended up.
Yeah, classic. Well, look, it's so good that you got through it, and it's really good to have you on board today. For everyone that's tuning in, my name is Elias. I'm from Ruby Soda. I'm a brand ambassador as well as a CMO for the startup. We're pretty fresh. We've been around for about a year now. And basically what we are is a influencer platform. We utilize influencer marketing to sell both items in retail and lifestyle. And Carla is one of our kind of top tier influencers. And we're super stoked to have her on board. Do you want to introduce yourself as well, Carla?
Sure. Well, I am Carla. Everyone calls me Carla, but my name is Carla. I'm born and raised in Argentina, and I moved here 10 years ago now. I'm just about to get my citizenship. It hasn't gone through yet, but almost there. And yeah, I am a full-time influencer.
Yes,
And
you are.
I got lucky crying at the back. Sorry, he wants to get in, but it's not happening.
He wants a piece of the action.
Yeah, he loves the camera. Not too.
All right, fantastic. Let's get straight into it. What you just said actually leads me into my first question. Tell us a bit about your story, where you come from, and what brought you to Australia in the first place.
Well, I come from Argentina. My accent is not true Argentinian though, as you can all tell. It's a little bit of a mix. But yeah, I was born in Argentina, and I always had a passion for. Well, sorry, what was the question? Just the story of myself, right?
Yeah. Just finish where you came from and what brought you to Australia in the first place.
Brought me to Australia. Okay, so basically, I finished high school in Argentina, and I don't want to like say anything bad about my country, but we had really bad experiences in Argentina. So my whole family decided to make the move. We were going to go to Spain first because that kind of like makes a lot of sense. I speak Spanish, so we were going to Spain. We actually bought properties. We were like ready to go, and then my dad actually met this guy, and he was Australian, and he took him out for dinner because he was a family friend from a family friend, and he was like absolutely obsessed with Australia, and my dad was like, we have to go there. So we literally sold the property that we had in Spain, and we started all the paperwork. Everyone is like, why did you move to Victoria? Because it's so cold here, right?
Especially compared to that side of the world.
Pardon?
Especially compared to Spain and South and Central America, like it's so much warmer there, closer to the equator.
I would not be wearing a jacket in Argentina right now, I'm telling you. So yeah, so back in the day it was this point system, and we didn't have enough points to actually get the citizenship here. And my dad, he's a chemical engineer, and they needed chemical engineers in Victoria. They actually sponsored him. It gave him the points that we needed to move here. And that's why we're in Melbourne. Very happy to call Australia my home now. Yeah, very happy.
Oh, beautiful. And so you've been here a while now. How did you actually get into the influencer game? Like what kind of led you down that path?
It's funny because last year I went to Spain, and my friend said to me, you have always been an influencer. And I was like, That's right, because back in Argentina, we had this thing and it was called photo log, right? And
Okay.
it's not there anymore, so you cannot find me, guys, even if you look at it. Uh, but what it was a website, and you would just put one photo and people could like it, and you could have up to 10 comments. And then if you wanted more comments, you had to pay for it. And I was just telling my brother, if that didn't have a cup, that would have been Instagram. That would have been the start of Instagram. This is like when I was 12 years old. But
Yeah.
the quicker that you fill up those 10 comments, the most popular you were, right? So
Yes, that was the algorithm. Okay.
yes, I'm sure my 10 comments were gone in 10 minutes.
Yeah,
Uh,
right.
and you had followers as well. So I kind of had always that passion. But
Okay.
I always had passion for creating. For
Hmm.
my 15th birthday, I asked for a camera with a digital screen, which it was like crazy back then. Like, what?
Yeah, yeah.
You could see colors, like, was absolutely crazy. And I got that and I loved it. And then for my 18th birthday, I got a DSL. And back then, I would just bring my friends at home. We would dress up. I would get my brother and his girlfriend, and we would do like a couple photo shoots in the backyard. So photography was always like there for me, and you know that side of like social, being social and all that. So I think throughout the years, it kind of like led me that way. Even though
Hmm.
I did work as an interior designer for many years, and now I'm currently working 2 days a week. I decided to go back just in like
Okay. Yep.
uh, that's why I'm so tired as well. I'm like, ugh. But it's good. I love it. But yeah, always had that passion. And then Instagram started, I started, I think it was 2012 when I started. And the thing was, I was in Australia. I did not speak the language. I was so bad with English. And I didn't have any friends, right? So my friend from Argentina introduced me to Instagram. And I would post a photo of my slippers. And I
Yeah.
would get 10 likes. It was so easy back then. And I'm like, that's kind of fun. So I just like kept going and started like uploading lots of shit. Uh, and then it became a game. And I remember one of my friends, we would go out and we would like ask people to follow me on Instagram. So get to the 1,000. We just
Yeah.
literally grab guys' phones, like, hang on and give me your phone. And I would just be like adding myself to Instagram. And that's when I hit my 1,000 followers. And
Yeah.
then I kind of kept going. I started collaborating, and we're here now.
And at that point, did you have any kind of idea that it might be something that you'd be able to monetize and actually, support yourself with income from? Or was it really just purely a creative outlet and something fun at the time?
I think that my breaking point, and I just had actually someone that I spoke to at this point just connected not long ago. I was at 30,000, which back then was a lot. 30,000 back then was a lot. And I said, do you think I would be able to be something with this? Maybe if I get to like 100,000. And that person said, nah, I don't think so. And it kind of like sadly influences you to just go to like what people would do, choose like, get a job 9 to 5 and all those things. And it kind of,
Hmm.
I feel like I did get carried away because I was too afraid to do it.
Yeah.
But it got to a point that I was working and I was just so unhappy. Like, so unhappy. I had a really good career. The CEO of the company was like, Kalu, you speak German. Our suppliers are from Germany. We are going to make you a seller. It's like,
Okay.
just us. And he will be always pushing me to go to the next role, right? Which in my head, I was like, I'm young and this is going really well. And I love this huge opportunity that I'm having. But the only problem was I was really young and I was managing a lot of people that could be my parents, right? And that was really hard on me because I'd be like, okay, guys, we need to do this today. And they'll be like, I'm going to have my coffee first. And I'm like, no, you're not. We have to do this. And then you can drink your coffee because we need to be ready for this.
Yeah.
No, I had my coffee and I'm like, look, I have no issues with you having your coffee. It will take you 2 seconds to do what I'm asking you. And then you can have your coffee, sit down if you want to. I don't care, but do what you have to do. And they were like, nah. And I was like, okay, rang the phone to my boss. And I was like, I quit. And he's like, no, I'm right around the corner. Don't quit. I'm like, no, I quit. I'm gone. By the time they get here, I'll grab my things and gone. And that was the time also that I got through to be one of the Miss Universe finalists.
Okay. So it was kind of like, it almost kind of happened hand in hand. Like, so the culture of kind of the 9-to-5 job was something that, you know, you really didn't like. And at the same time, you had this other opportunity coming through, which kind of led into what you're doing now. I mean, I guess it makes a lot of sense, definitely.
Yeah. And it was just exhausting. I was doing 2 days in Sydney, and then I was doing 3 days in Melbourne, and that was just draining. I was so tired, and yeah, I quit. And then what Miss Universe did to me was actually pushing me really hard towards something that I never thought about it, which it was video.
Yeah.
I would have never thought that I was ever in my life going to be able to do videos. And that's something that it's coming really strong. And I think that that's something that made the difference, because I was stuck on Instagram for a long time on 160,000, and I did not move for years.
Yeah, you plateaued a bit.
I couldn't understand what was wrong. And then once I got time to actually research and study, I was like, okay, this is what I need to do. And Miss Universe helped me to feel comfortable in front of a camera and push myself. So
Amazing.
that I'm really grateful for, and helped me.
So with this whole kind of gig, what do you find is the best and the worst part of being an influencer?
I think the best part is the freedom of working with your favorite brands.
Mm-hmm.
It does come, you know, it's many things that I'm happy to take on board from all these things. You know, working with Victoria's Secret, I work constantly with Victoria's Secret, with Nookie, which is amazing. I love the gowns, and every time I put one on, I feel like, you know, it's amazing. People trust me. I am very picky with who am I working with, and people know if I'm posting this means that it's good. And all of a sudden I'm creating this amazing community. People sending me questions about sizes, or sending me pictures of themselves wearing the same outfit that I posted last week. Those things are priceless to me. Like, absolutely amazing.
Yeah, having that community. And what's the worst part for you?
It's a few things. First, the pressure. Obviously, you know, and you would feel it too because you have a huge following, and you know, you need to stay up to the standards that you set yourself, right? And the reality is that we are all human. We have our insecurities. It's not as easy as everyone thinks. Sometimes I'm tired. Sometimes I get moody. Sometimes I just can't do it. And you need to take that break. Another bad thing is like that I don't have much, but haters and people thinking that they know you without knowing you.
Yeah, absolutely. It's definitely a prominent thing in that kind of industry. And obviously, like, it's a bit of a one-man game. Like, obviously, you're gonna have to put that pressure on yourself, and you have those days where you just don't want to be putting anything out there. And also, like, I think, you're so right in saying, like, sometimes people just don't understand that it is also like, it is a job. So in that sense, there is a facade to it, and trying to understand that, I think, is really important, as opposed to not just believing everything that you see. on social
Absolutely.
media as like exactly how that person's day is going. They could be going through hell, but they're out there doing something because that's what they
And
do as for a living.
I had moments and that I was probably in my lowest, and I would get DMs from people saying, "Oh my God, Carla, it's so good to see you happy, you're glowing." And I would be probably like reading that message, crying on the bed. But no one
Yeah.
knows those things. And the reality is that we're all humans.
Mm.
And yeah, we go through ups and downs. We don't feel like we are better than anyone else, and that's something that we have to deal with. People think
Yeah.
that we stuck up, or think that, or they just make assumptions for because that's our job, right? They
Absolutely.
are, I don't know, like, yeah, stuck up or something like that. And it's like, you're actually really cool. And I'm like, thanks. Why did you think otherwise? Like, why did you already had an image of me that it wasn't it? So
Yeah.
that's the worst part, I think, is like break that barrier. That we are
Absolutely.
we are not like that. We're just normal human beings walking on the streets. I get pimples. If you cut me, I'll bleed. All that jazz.
Yeah, it's just the adaptation and evolution of work. Work's very different to what it was, say, 50 or even 100 years ago. So I think that's so true. And then a typical day, like your typical day as an influencer, what does that look like? Like, give us like just your rough average day. What are you doing? What's happening?
To be honest, and I think you would agree with me, they're all different.
Hmm.
Every day is so different. So now that I am working also as an interior designer, I really need to step it up with my management because that means that I have less time to shoot and know the Melbourne weather, it is challenging, right?
Yep.
Because I need the daylight. Today's a cloudy day. So if I had content to do today, it would be a no-go.
Yeah.
I can't shoot with these clouds, right? So for a couple of days, I do interior design, 9 to 5, which
Yeah.
I'm really happy because the person who I'm working with, who is my old boss,
Hmm.
she bumped into me in a shopping center, and she's like, "Hello, you have to come back." And I was like, "Really?" And she's like, "Please, please, please, even once a week." And I'm like, "Really?" And she's like, "Yes, come back." And I'm like, "Okay, fine." And she twisted my arm, and I'm back, and I'm happy that I'm doing it. But when it comes to content creation, I need to get ready. I do my curls, I put my extensions, I do my makeup. I fill up my car with all these outfits and I go to town. I start driving and I look for nice spots. I get creative. Sometimes, if I'm feeling really confident, I'll do reels. And if I don't, I will look at them and be like, oh, let's just go. And I always have someone who takes the photos for me. And yeah, that's that's the moment that I'm like, I am happy. I love putting things together as outfit with background, shoes with dress, and that's the highlight for me. I love creating. And if I
Yeah.
ever stop creating, you'll cut my legs because that's what I love doing.
Yeah. You are very creative. I know you're also a painter, obviously doing interior design. You're going and like, nailing these briefs for brands. It's all like within the creative realm. And I think that's, yeah, it's really special. It's really cool to see. Um, and with your kind of success, like what do you attribute your success to? Like what's the factor, the main factor of your success that you would think?
I Yeah, I honestly think that there is like many things, and also thank you for calling me successful. I think it's a lot of things actually. Firstly, coming from my parents that they're both entrepreneurs, and every time that I would say, this is getting too hard for me, maybe I should just go and get a job, right? They
Mm.
will be like, no, don't get a job. Don't. And I am very independent. So if you need money, I'll give it to you. And I'll be like, I cannot take money from you. I cannot do that. But like, just hold on more. Hold on more. You need to work for yourself. So that's one mindset that I was born with.
Yeah.
Even my other two brothers, they don't do that. But I was born with that mentality. I think my dad and I were really similar in that sense. We need to work for ourselves. Otherwise, it will kill us.
Yeah.
Then the freedom that they always gave me as well, from since I'm little, they have supported me. in everything I wanted to do. If I wanted to do interior design, being it, you know, my mom's an architect, and my dad is a chemical engineer, right? And my two
Yeah.
brothers, Pablo is also an engineer. My other brother is an engineer, and you could think that my parents put that pressure on me, but absolutely no. They always supported me, and I think that that really allowed my creativity to grow.
Yeah.
Because if you ask me today, who is my inspiration? It's very, it just comes to me. It can come from like a tree that I see. You know, it's not
Right.
that I see someone that I'm like, oh, this girl I really like. If I see a dress and I picture, you know, a place, I'll go and drive to that place. You know, it comes from everywhere, and I think that's really special, and that's something that it came from my childhood.
Yeah.
As well, you know, my work ethic. You guys, if you follow me on Instagram, you will know that I work with a lot of brands that keep working with me constantly. This is because I go above and beyond every time that I work with a brand. I give it my all. If you are working with me, I'm going to make a folder for you, and I'm going to put all the content that I have extra for you. I'm going to be available. I'm going to be fast. I'm going to, you know, I'm going to have a good relationship with you. That is so important. That's networking. If
Yeah.
that the company and goes to another one, they will know you. That's two companies now that you're working for.
That's absolutely true. Like, obviously, working with you through Ruby Soda has been such a breeze, and that's why you're one of our top influencers. And yeah, definitely, I think, as you said, like having that freedom from your peers or your parents is so important. I feel like a lot of people really have to prove it first. But that's so amazing that they're able to like back you from day dot. It's really special.
Yeah.
What do you think the determining factor is to getting collabs or sponsored posts? Like, what's the winning kind of formula to get those sponsorships and actually be able to monetize it?
To be honest, that's a lot of factors as well.
Yeah.
I think that if you really wanna work with a brand, you need to show them that they would actually get a lot from working with you.
Yeah.
I think obviously content for them will be really important, making sure that their content matches yours, so they can reuse the images, and that way they will promote you as well. So it's a good connection to have.
The win-win. Yeah.
If your Instagram feed also goes with the values of the brand, you know, you guys have worked with brands that I cannot work with. Let's say I am vegetarian. I
Yeah.
couldn't work with a brand that has leather, because that would not be true to my values. So that
Okay.
goes for
Yeah.
you, true to their values as well. But also, if you really love this brand, make sure just save money, purchase something from them, and you know, make yourself shine in front of them as well.
Yeah.
Also, reach
Definitely.
out to them. You know,
Yeah.
I still reach out to brands, and I'm like, hey, I would love to do something together. I think that will really go well together. I think your products will add to my feed, and likewise. You know, like I'm like obsessed with skateboards. Like I'm like wildly crazy. I have like a few now, and I reached out to them. It was actually a bit weird, because I wanted this design, and I was like, I can't find it anywhere. And they're like, no, we don't have it anymore. I was like, oh, okay, I'll just buy another one.
Yeah.
And from there, I started having a work relationship with that person. So don't be afraid to reach out.
Yeah. And just prove yourself. 100%.
If the opportunity doesn't present to you, just keep working towards it. That it's
Yeah.
completely fine. You know, failure is going to be there all the way. You just need to keep going. It doesn't matter.
Yeah. It's definitely an industry where you do have to come face to face with rejection quite a lot. So I think
Yeah.
that's such a good point to make. And for people working in the industry already, like, are there any books or social media channels or podcasts that you might recommend for people trying to get that head start?
Yeah, honestly, with that, I am strong will. For me, what really works is YouTube, and I am a geek. Like, I would know everything about algorithms, and you would know these about because of our Ruby Soda reunions when we speak
Yeah.
about. I go through all the videos that I find talking about Instagram, how the algorithm works, and all those things. I don't find podcasts, like I find really hard to find good podcasts.
Okay.
And
Yeah.
so I don't really do that. I feel like for me the gold mine is in YouTube, to be honest. But everyone is different. And if if you are a reader, then go to your books. But for me, YouTube has been a huge tool in every way. Like I decided one day that I wanted to do crypto, and I was like, today is the day. I'm gonna start watching YouTube videos about crypto, and that's how I got into it. And now I know how to trade, and it's almost like it selects itself the best videos, because you know that the ones that with the most views, they are probably the best ones.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So it's like you already have all these highlights hanging there for you. You just need to come, pay attention. And also I am a strong believer of manifestation. And I feel
Mm-hmm.
like a lot of YouTubers, influencers do say this, but I am a strong believer. And even though if you don't believe in it, it's really good for your mental health to know which direction you're going.
And what you want, I think, yeah, very important. Absolutely.
So important. And
Yeah.
also being grateful, because in this world, we're always in a rush and whatever, and we often forget how lucky we are. You
Yeah.
know,
Absolutely.
our health, all those things are really important. And for me, writing down what I'm grateful for every day is so important.
Yeah.
So I think those things are really important, and invest on yourself.
Yeah. So
Um,
based on the knowledge that you have today, like, what would you do differently? Let's say you had to start again. You had to start right now. Give me like 3 things that you would do differently.
um, Firstly, I would stop caring about what people say.
Yeah. Amazing.
Because when someone says something about you, they're talking about their limitations, not yours, and that kind of like sticks to you a lot.
Mm-hmm.
Eliminate anything that it's making you feel like shit. I think
Yeah.
materialistic, any people. I got rid of a lot of people in my life, and don't be afraid to be alone, because it's a path that you have to cross to know who you are as a person,
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
and know where you want to go. And one more, third, would be invest on yourself. When I say
Yeah.
invest on yourself, I'm saying if, I invest on cameras, I invest on going to the gym, I invest on, like, I don't know, self-love. Invest on yourself, because, you are your biggest tool. So look after yourself in any single way, every single way.
Every single way. All the
Every
ways.
way.
Amazing. Well, yeah, that wraps up the questions. Really appreciate having you on today. If you're not already following Carlu, not Carla, sorry, you can follow it at I am Carlu. And then if you want to check us out, Ruby Soda, we are rubysoda.com or Ruby Sodagram. Awesome. Thanks so much for your time today. I really appreciate it. And I'm sure we'll be in touch soon.
Yes. Mwah. Have a good day.
You too. Bye.